I'm my war to show you that the real problem in the game industry right now is consultants. That is the biggest thing. And here, Twig, the Deconstruct are fun because they are all consultants now. This is a 20-year industry vet. This is what I'm going to show you. And this will just show you that they've never made a game. They have no idea how games work. They don't play games. But man, do they talk a lot. So I wanted to ask you, actually, a lot of what we talk about mobile all the time, should AAA start taking learnings from this? It's going to sound crazy. From hyper-casual studios who prototype things more quickly, who get to things more quickly, just in terms of finding the fun in the play without worrying about the beautiful, crazy graphics and beautiful art. In a sense, do we care as much about that and finding the fun? Well, consultant, that's how games are made. They're all made that way, by finding the fun first. Yeah, you may do look dev because you have to send images to idiots like you who can't understand gameplay. But also, in AAA, unlike hyper-casual, which is, like match 3, modern gamers actually kind of want complex systems. And so it's those series of systems that go forward that layer over each other, right? And we see this, and I've talked about this with things like Ubisoft, where you can tell that they have different studios working on the game because they'll just give you a section, and how that section of gameplay and what it does and how it interacts with the others is really simple. So that it can be anything. They don't have to care. You want to go turn on light poles? Awesome. Want to go climb this? Awesome. It doesn't make a difference because they have to have these complex systems because these games are more complex than hyper-casual. But to think that this consultant thinks nobody starts with gameplay, that nobody ever tries to find the fun. Instead, it's just all flashy graphics. Like, what, you read a New York Times article that said that's why games are slow to make? Like, the actual production on all of that and building out those giant worlds, that takes time. Yeah, that's one of the reasons. The prototyping, though, is about these systems. And you don't know, hey, I'm going to have 5 different systems. I have a system of eating in my game. It doesn't include your health, though. But it does. But it's more like the power-ups, because I really like that in Cyberpunk 2077. But is that fun on its own? Can you prototype that? I just know it works, and it's got to layer into a bunch of other systems, and then you have to build systems that interact with that to give you the need for that, so that if you have this, and you have a stat, can I modify this stat? Can I adjust this stat? Can this stat become something else? Can I have something modify it temporarily to make me overpower? Or can I not? And none of these things are we're just going to just try this in 5 seconds. Oh, no, you have to layer these all on, but they all start that way. And that's what they're trying to build out, because these are complex games. These aren't all hyper-casual. Sorry that the only game you play is match 3. There are more complex games than that. And those complex games still start with the fun over the graphics. Nobody's putting in a bunch of fancy graphics over that until they find those systems that work. How does somebody advertise as being a consultant who doesn't know how to make games? Now, can you say the prototyping stage takes too long? Sure, but everybody knows shooting's fun. But then your game's making the guns, that is a 3-year process to make all your guns. And how do they all interact? We talked about just a scope. I made multiple videos just about a scope, one aspect of the gun, because of the complexities of it. But no, we should just make it where it's just one button, you just have one button, and all guns are the same. Right? It's both sides of not understanding that this is how prototyping starts, and then not understanding that the goals are so radically different that you can't use a hyper-casual approach where you just dismiss the entire thing within the first 5 minutes. How are you a consultant? How have you worked in the game industry for 20 years? Nobody's ever showed you anything. The only thing anyone's ever showed you is a cleaned up, pretty deck and said, we made this for the suits because they're idiots. But hey, you can hire them.